Have you ever felt like life is slipping through your fingers? That, despite everything you do, something essential is missing. The joy, the peace, the meaning. Where are they hiding? Today, we're diving into Lao Tzu's timeless wisdom, revealing his formula to true inner peace, and why you might be missing out on life without it. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher and author of the Tao Te Ching, left behind wisdom that resonates deeply, even in the chaos of the modern world. His teachings hold the secret to understanding why, in our pursuit of fulfillment, we often end up missing the very essence of life. In this video, we'll uncover the secrets behind Lao Tzu's lessons and show you how to live a life filled with contentment and peace. But before we start, if you find value in this content, consider giving it a like. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us reach more people in need of wisdom. Let's begin. One of Lao Tzu's core teachings is about letting go of the constant pursuit of external validation and material gain. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness lies in the next promotion, the next gadget, or the next relationship. We chase these things endlessly, thinking they will finally complete us. But as Lao Tzu said, when you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. It's not about adding more to your life, it's about recognizing the completeness of what you already have. This perspective shift is transformative. Imagine how many hours you spend trying to earn more, buy more, or become more, all because you feel that something is missing. The truth is, people often tell you that you need more. More success, more status, more possessions. But ask yourself, whose interests does this serve? The harsh reality is that many people around you are pushing you to chase more because it benefits them. Advertising is built on the notion that you are not enough. It thrives on making you feel insecure so that you buy products to fill the void. People take advantage of your insecurities to sell you things, to make you feel inferior so that they can elevate themselves. They want you to believe that you are not enough because that's how they maintain control over you. They create a narrative that keeps you running in circles, always searching for the next thing that will supposedly make you whole. True inner peace comes from breaking free from this cycle of chasing. It comes from accepting yourself as you are and realizing that you already have everything you need within you. Stop allowing others to define your worth based on their selfish motives. Stop letting them convince you that you are incomplete. When you embrace who you are without needing external validation, you find a peace that is unshakable. You realize that happiness was never out there. It was always within you, waiting for you to notice. To dive deeper, imagine a life where you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. Consider the weight that would be lifted from your shoulders if you stopped striving for approval from people who don't truly understand or care about you. This is the essence of Lao Tzu's teaching, accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all, without the relentless drive for more. When you do this, you stop the endless cycle of dissatisfaction and start living a life rooted in genuine contentment. Lao Tzu taught that simplicity is the key to happiness. I have 3 treasures, he said, guard and keep them, deep love, frugality, and not daring to be ahead of others. In a world that glorifies complexity and overachievement, simplicity has become undervalued. We're constantly told that we need to hustle, to do more, to be more. But what if the secret to true happiness is actually doing less? Think about it. People often make life complicated because it benefits them. The more complex things seem, the more they can make you feel dependent on them for answers, for guidance, for solutions. Complexity is a tool used by those who seek to keep you under their influence. Governments, corporations, even individuals in your life. They all use complexity to keep you needing them. They tell you that life is too difficult to navigate alone, that you need their products, their services, their advice. But Lao Tzu's wisdom tells us to return to simplicity, to let go of unnecessary desires, to stop comparing ourselves to others, and to find joy in the simple, everyday moments of life. Imagine the freedom of not needing to keep up with others, of not needing to own the latest gadgets or achieve the highest accolades. Imagine the peace that comes from being content with less, from finding joy in the things you already have. The truth is, when you simplify your life, you take back control. You become less vulnerable to manipulation, less likely to be swayed by the whims of others who only seek their own benefit. Simplicity is liberating, and it is the path to true inner peace. It allows you to focus on what truly matters: love, connection, purpose. Rather than the superficial things that society tells you are important. Simplicity doesn't mean deprivation, it means prioritizing what matters most. It means decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mental and emotional spaces. Imagine your mind as a garden. If it's overgrown with weeds of unnecessary thoughts, tasks, and worries, you'll never be able to enjoy the flowers that are already there. Lao Tzu teaches us to tend to our inner garden, to clear away the excess so that we can truly appreciate what remains. It's not about having nothing, it's about cherishing the essential. Be like water, Lao Tzu said. Water is soft, yet it can carve through mountains. It's adaptable, flexible, and always finds its way. In our lives, we often try to force things. We force relationships, force success, force ourselves into roles that don't fit. We resist change because we're afraid of losing control. But Lao Tzu teaches us that true strength lies in flexibility. People around you will often tell you to stand your ground or fight for what you want. But sometimes this advice comes from their own desire to see you struggle, to see you exhaust yourself. They want you to be rigid because a rigid person is easier to break. They want you to be predictable because predictability makes you easier to manipulate. Think about it. How often have you been told that you must be unyielding to succeed? This narrative is pushed on you because it benefits others. Instead, embrace the wisdom of water. Flow around obstacles rather than exhausting yourself trying to break through them. Adapt to situations rather than resisting them. Water doesn't fight against what stands in its way. It moves around it, and in doing so, it eventually shapes even the hardest stone. When you live like water, you become resilient. You become unbreakable because you are not fighting against life. You are moving with it. This doesn't mean you should never stand up for yourself. It means you should choose your battles wisely. It means recognizing that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to let go, to adapt, to move in a different direction. Flexibility is not weakness. It is strength. It is the ability to navigate life's challenges without breaking. Think of water's ability to change forms. It can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Its adaptability is its power. When you embody this adaptability, you find strength in being able to change, to evolve, to fit into whatever shape life requires of you at that moment. Imagine being able to navigate the most challenging situations without feeling the need to control every detail, without the anxiety of resistance. This is the power of being like water, moving through life with grace and ease, flowing around obstacles instead of exhausting yourself, trying to destroy them. One of the reasons why so many people feel unfulfilled is because they are constantly seeking the approval of others. We've been conditioned to value ourselves based on what others think of us. Whether it's our family, our friends, or even strangers on social media. But Lao Tzu reminds us, care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. The harsh reality is that people will take advantage of your need for approval. They will use it to control you, to make you conform to their expectations. They will make you feel that your worth is tied to their validation. Social media is a perfect example of this. People curate their lives to gain likes and followers, to receive external validation, to feel worthy. But here's the truth: their opinions are not about you. They are about them. They are a reflection of their own insecurities, their own fears, and their own limited understanding of the world. To find true inner peace, you must detach yourself from the opinions of others. You must realize that your value does not depend on what others think of you. Imagine the freedom of living your life without worrying about what others think. Imagine making decisions based on what feels right for you, rather than what will gain the approval of others. When you stop caring about external validation, you free yourself from the chains that others have placed on you. You begin to live authentically, for yourself, not for the approval of others. To truly understand this concept, think of the countless decisions you've made because of what others might think. The clothes you wear, the job you took, the opinions you voiced or suppressed. All influenced by the need for approval. But imagine if, instead of constantly trying to fit into others' expectations, you lived true to your own values. The weight lifted from your spirit would be immense. Lao Tzu's wisdom is about reclaiming your authenticity, about daring to be true to yourself even when it goes against the grain. This is the key to lasting inner peace. Living life on your own terms. Before I proceed, count yourself as an exception for making it this far into the video. Now that you have shown how strong you are, let's make it till the end of the video. Control is an illusion. We often believe that if we can just control every aspect of our lives, our relationships, our careers, our future, then we will be happy. But Lao Tzu teaches us that true peace comes not from controlling life, but from letting go. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go, he said. People around you will often push you to control everything because it benefits them. They want you to stress, to worry, to micromanage because it makes you vulnerable. It makes you dependent on them for solutions, for support. The more you try to control, the more you end up feeling anxious and frustrated, and the more they can step in and offer you their help. They thrive on your need to control, because it keeps you in a state of fear and dependence. Letting go of control means trusting the natural flow of life. It means understanding that there are things you cannot change, and that fighting against them only leads to suffering. Imagine the relief of not needing to control everything. Imagine the peace that comes from trusting that life will unfold as it is meant to. When you let go, you find peace. You stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow life to unfold as it is meant to. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop worrying about things that are beyond your control. It means you focus your energy on what you can change and you let go of the rest. Consider the immense energy we waste trying to control the uncontrollable. We attempt to dictate how others feel about us, how situations should unfold, or how the future should look. Lao Tzu teaches us that this constant striving for control only leads to anxiety and burnout. Instead, letting go means placing trust in the natural rhythm of life. It means allowing things to be as they are, without constantly trying to alter them to fit our desires. When you let go of control, you make room for peace, for acceptance, for grace. You learn that, often, the things we resist are the things we need most to grow and evolve. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present, Lao Tzu said. Most people spend their lives either regretting the past or worrying about the future. And in doing so, they miss out on the present moment, the only moment that truly matters. Think about it. How many times have you been with loved ones, but your mind was elsewhere? How often do you let worries about tomorrow steal the joy of today? The people around you will often encourage this behavior because it keeps you distracted. It keeps you from being fully present, and it makes you easier to manipulate. They want you to live in a state of fear or regret because it benefits them. It keeps you from realizing your true potential. Living in the present means letting go of the burdens of the past and the worries of the future. It means fully experiencing each moment, finding joy in the here and now. When you live in the present, you find a sense of peace that cannot be taken away, because you are no longer chained to the past or the future. You are free. It means appreciating the small moments, a conversation with a friend, a walk in nature, a quiet moment of reflection. These moments are where life happens, And when you are fully present, you experience life in its fullness. To deepen your understanding of this, think of how often you dwell on past mistakes or worry about future outcomes. Each of these thoughts takes you away from the only reality that exists. The present moment. Lao Tzu's teaching is a call to awaken from the dream of Sunday and to find the magic that exists in the now. When you let go of past regrets and future fears, you create a space where true joy can arise. The present moment is a gift, and when you learn to truly live in it, you find that everything you need is already here. In our productivity, obsessed society, the idea of doing nothing is often seen as lazy or unproductive. But Lao Tzu teaches us the power of Wu Wei, which means non-action. It's about aligning yourself so deeply with the flow of life that you act without effort, without forcing, without striving. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Lao Tzu said, "People will often make you feel guilty for resting, for taking time to do nothing. They want you to believe that your value is tied to your productivity, that you must always be doing something to be worthy. This benefits them because it keeps you exhausted, it keeps you from questioning the path you're on, and it keeps you dependent on their validation. They want you to be too tired to think, too busy to question, too overwhelmed to make a change. But the truth is, rest is essential. Non-action is not about being lazy. It's about allowing things to happen naturally without unnecessary effort. It's about trusting that sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and let life unfold. This is where true peace lies. In understanding that you don't always need to be in control, that sometimes the most powerful action is inaction. When you practice Wu Wei, you align yourself with the natural flow of life. You stop forcing and you start allowing. You find that things often work out better when you stop trying to control every detail. Think of a time when you forced something to happen. Maybe it was a relationship, a project, or a goal. You pushed, you struggled, you exhausted yourself, and yet the results were not what you hoped for. Now, think of a time when you let go, when you allowed things to unfold naturally, without force. The results were likely much more aligned with what you truly needed. This is the power of Wu Wei, acting in harmony with the natural flow, rather than against it. It's about recognizing that sometimes the best thing you can do is to step back, to allow, to trust. When you do this, you find that life has a way of working itself out in ways far more beautiful than you could have planned. Lao Tzu teaches us to find joy in the simple, ordinary moments of life. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, he said. It's about appreciating the small things, a warm cup of tea, a gentle breeze, the laughter of a loved one. But in today's world, we're often made to feel that joy must come from something grand, a big achievement, an expensive purchase, a spectacular experience. People want you to believe that happiness is out there, somewhere, waiting for you to find it, because it keeps you in a constant state of searching, of wanting, of feeling incomplete. It keeps you spending money, chasing goals, always striving for more. But the truth is, happiness is not out there. It's right here in the simple, everyday moments of life. The beauty of a sunset, the comfort of a familiar routine, the warmth of a loved one's smile. These are the moments that make life meaningful. When you learn to find joy in the ordinary, you become less dependent on the external. You realize that true happiness comes from within, and that it's not something you need to chase. It's something you need to notice. It's already here, waiting for you to see it. When you stop searching for happiness in the big things, you start to see it in the small things. You start to appreciate the beauty of life as it is, rather than constantly wishing for something more. To truly grasp this, think of a child's wonder at the simplest things. Butterfly, a puddle, a flower. Children have an innate ability to find joy in the ordinary because they have not yet learned to chase the extraordinary. Lao Tzu encourages us to return to this state of wonder, to see the beauty in the mundane. When you cultivate this perspective, you realize that joy is not a destination, it's a way of seeing the world. It's about being fully present and appreciating what is, rather than always longing for what could be. Lao Tzu often spoke of the importance of embracing your true nature. A man with outward courage dares to die, a man with inner courage dares to live. He said, "Many people live their lives trying to be what others want them to be. They conform to expectations, they suppress their true selves, they hide their uniqueness, all in an effort to be accepted. But the truth is, people will take advantage of your fear of being different. They will make you feel that in order to belong, you must fit in, you must conform, you must hide who you really are. They do this because it makes you easier to control, easier to predict, easier to manipulate. When you suppress who you are, you give up your power. You give others the ability to dictate how you should live your life. True peace comes from embracing your true nature, from being unapologetically yourself, from living in alignment with who you really are. It means having the courage to be different, to stand out, to live authentically, even if it means facing criticism or rejection. It means recognizing that your uniqueness is your strength, not your weakness. When you embrace your true nature, you find a sense of freedom and peace that cannot be taken away. You stop living for others, and you start living for yourself. To explore this further, think of the times when you have suppressed your true self to fit in. How did it feel? Did it bring you happiness, or did it create a sense of emptiness? Now, think of the times when you allowed yourself to be fully you, without fear of judgment. That feeling of freedom, of authenticity, is what Lao Tzu wants us to embrace. It's about understanding that true fulfillment comes not from fitting into someone else's mold, but from breaking free and being unapologetically yourself. When you do this, you attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. Finally, Lao Tzu teaches us to trust the process of life. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished, he said. We live in a world that is always in a rush. We're told that we must achieve our goals quickly, that we must constantly be moving forward, that we must never stop. But life is not a race, it is a journey. People will push you to rush because it benefits them. They want you to feel pressured, to make decisions in haste, to not take the time to reflect. They want you to believe that if you're not constantly moving, you're falling behind. But Lao Tzu reminds us that everything happens in its own time, that there is a natural order to life, and that by rushing, we only create stress and anxiety for ourselves. Trusting the process of life means letting go of the need to control every outcome. It means understanding that everything happens when it's meant to happen. It means having patience and trusting that, in the end, everything will work out as it should. When you trust the process, you find a deep sense of peace, because you are no longer fighting against life. You are flowing with it. You begin to see that life has its own rhythm, and that by aligning yourself with that rhythm, you find a sense of harmony and balance. So, if you've made it this far, I commend you. You've shown a strength and resilience that is rare. Remember, the wisdom of Lao Tzu is not just to be heard, it is to be lived. Apply these teachings to your life, and you will find the peace that you have been searching for. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It's free and helps us reach more people who need this wisdom. And if you're still here, comment in a PC below so I know you watched until the end. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope to see you in the next video. Stay peaceful, stay present, and remember, true happiness is already within you.